Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Al Jazeera reports on Black Wednesday, April 8, 2026, when Israel launched over 100 attacks in under 10 minutes across Lebanon, killing at least 357 people. While Israel claimed to have targeted 250 Hezbollah operatives, investigations by Human Rights Watch, ACLED, and the UN, along with Al Jazeera's sources, cast significant doubt on this narrative. Evidence suggests the strikes were often indiscriminate, killing numerous civilians, including 101 women and children, restaurant staff, teachers, journalists, and entire families. Experts emphasize that international humanitarian law requires armed forces to distinguish between military objectives and civilians. However, Israel has, over the past 2.5 years, frequently violated the laws of war in both Lebanon and Gaza, including targeting non-combatants and using prohibited weapons like white phosphorus, yet faces a notable lack of international accountability. This absence of deterrence emboldens further violations, experts contend. Although a temporary ceasefire halted attacks on Beirut, hostilities persist in southern Lebanon, with ongoing civilian casualties. Direct negotiations between Israel and Lebanon have begun, despite Hezbollah's objections, as the Lebanese state hopes to end Israel's attacks and occupation of southern Lebanon. According to Shoal, as the Philippines and the United States conduct their large-scale shoulder-to-shoulder joint military exercises, including a significant multilateral maritime exercise in the South China Sea, China's People's Liberation Army, ATMLA Southern Theater Command, has responded by announcing its own combat readiness patrols. These patrols took place today in the sea and air around Democracy Reef, also known as Scarborough Shoal, which China refers to as Huangyan Island. The Southern Theater Command stated that these actions are intended to powerfully and effectively respond to various infringing and provocative acts. They also released a video showing 3 PLA missile frigates, the Hanzhong 648, Maming 551, and Shun 554, patrolling the area. The footage further depicted multiple J-16 fighters and at least 2 H-6K bombers conducting aerial patrols. In a notable segment, a Chinese warship was heard directing a J-16 fighter, code-named Thunderbolt 01, to intercept an unidentified aerial target approaching Huangyan Island, which was identified as a Philippine C-208 patrol aircraft. The Gokhaus Resolute Mukagoprait, U.S.-Philippines exercises, which commenced on April 20 and will conclude on May 1st, involve Japan, Australia, and other allied nations, with 5 countries deploying a total of 11 warships. China's latest patrols follow previous live-fire drills conducted by the Southern Theater Command on April 24th, east of the Philippine island of Luzon, which Beijing described as a necessary action in response to the current regional situation. Japanese Prime Minister Sonai Takaichi held phone talks with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on Thursday, urging Iran to ensure the safe passage of ships from all countries through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. Takaichi conveyed Tokyo's strong desire for a swift resumption of negotiations between the United States and Iran to end their ongoing war and reach a final agreement. She also welcomed the recent transit of a Japanese-owned oil tanker through the crucial waterway. Japan is highly dependent on the Middle East for its crude oil imports, with most traditionally passing through the Strait of Hormuz. The effective closure of the strait since late February due to the conflict has compelled Japan to seek diverse energy sources. This marks their second phone conversation following earlier talks on April 8 after a conditional ceasefire deal was announced as reported by Kyoto News. According to GG Press, the Eurozone's real gross domestic product, GDP, recorded a preliminary quarter-on-quarter increase of 0.1% in the first quarter of 2026, as announced by the European Union (EU) Statistical Office in Brussels on April 30. This figure indicates a slowdown in growth compared to the previous quarter's 0.2% increase and falls short of the market consensus, which, according to Reuters, had predicted a 0.2% rise. The EU as a whole also experienced a 0.1% increase in its real GDP for the same period, similarly slowing from the prior quarter's 0.2% growth. According to Yonhap News Agency, POSCO Holdings, South Korea's leading steelmaker, announced on Thursday a significant deal worth 1.1 trillion won, $765 million to acquire a 30% stake in an Australian lithium mine operator. This strategic move is aimed at bolstering POSCO's secondary battery material business by securing a stable supply of crucial raw materials. Under the agreement, POSCO will form a joint venture with Mineral Resources, granting it rights to 30% of the lithium concentrate extracted from two key mines in Western Australia, Mount Marion and Wodgina. The Wodgina mine is noted as one of the world's 5 largest, boasting approximately 6.2 million tons of lithium carbonate reserves, while Mount Marion holds an estimated 2.2 million tons. The projected combined output from these mines, including future capacity expansions, is expected to yield about 37,000 tons of lithium hydroxide, sufficient to power roughly 860,000 electric vehicles. This partnership is vital for ensuring a consistent and reliable supply of lithium, an essential component for electric vehicle batteries. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.